I'm Vinecki, and I'm 15 years old. Let me remind you what it's like to be 15. I'm scared to death about failing my driver's test this year. Can you imagine? I'm not even going to tell my friends that I'm taking it until I've already passed it. I worry about many other things. I worry about getting invited to prom and getting invited to homecoming. And yes, I can't live without my cell phone. My favorite apps right now? Let's see. Family Feud, Angry Birds, and Cut the Rope. When I started playing Candy Crush, I only made it to level 39, unlike my teammate Mariah, who made it to level 329. It seemed pretty pathetic compared to her. But after Hill Climb came out, then I really lost interest in Candy Crush. And speaking of Lost, huge fan of the TV series Lost. I spent this summer watching all 6 seasons, sitting on the couch, going through each one, not wanting to put it down. I worry about what jeans to wear. I worry about making friends, making sure my friends like me, fitting in, and getting my homework done. Let me tell you what stresses out a 15-year-old. We're coming from broken homes. 50% of teens and kids have divorced parents. Schools are not as safe as they once were. We deal with bullying, peer pressure with drugs and alcohol, and we worry about shootings. Right now, we worry about many other things as well. One of the other things we worry about and that stresses us out, is trying to find time to fit in our homework and trying to get all these other things done. We're also dealing with more and more losses. 1 in 7 Americans lose either a parent or a sibling before they even turn 30. Or before they turn 20, actually. I'm one of those 1 in 7 Americans. I lost my dad to prostate cancer. He was only 40 years old. This left a 10-year-old girl without a dad. And I was sitting there wondering what I was supposed to do and why my dad, who never smoked, never drank, he always exercised and had no family history of prostate cancer, why he died. Stresses like all of these are killing us. Suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death among teens. We are either starving ourselves with eating disorders or, more commonly, overeating. Obesity has more than quadrupled in 12 to 19-year-olds in just the past 30 years. When I was 8 years old, I could see around me the kids dealing with obesity, and it really affected me, and I realized this just at 10 years old. I chose to do something about it because I hated seeing them sad. I hated seeing them being teased and being picked on. So that's why I chose to run for childhood obesity. I went to this event in Clearwater, Florida, ran my first 10K, and raised $1,100 as childhood obesity as my platform. Just after this event, my dad was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of prostate cancer. He only lived 10 months after the time he was diagnosed. This left a very short time for us to realize what was even happening and why we were losing our dad. This left a 10-year-old girl and my 3 brothers, 2 of which are younger, 1 older, without a dad. I could have easily sat on the couch, overate, and been sad for the rest of my life. But I chose to take action, just like I had done with childhood obesity. I decided that I was going to do something crazy. I was going to run further and harder than any other kid my age. When I was 14, I became the youngest person to run a marathon on all 7 continents. And I did this to show my dad how much I loved him, how much I cared about him, and that I would do anything in the world to stomp out the cancer that killed him. I probably failed to mention that while I was watching all this TV, it was only after I had done 5 to 6 hours of training and decided to make all these healthy food choices. I can have those lazy days where I eat ice cream at night, have a milkshake, have a slice of pizza, but it's all in moderation. You can have only so much of something bad, but you can have it once in a while. I chose to eat healthy and exercise almost all of the time so I could follow my dream, so I could follow and chase that one thing that I really wanted to do, that one thing that really pushed me to get out of bed in the morning and train, even though I didn't want to train on that day, and to make those healthy food choices that would fuel my body for success. That one thing for me was running a marathon on all 7 continents to help save lives. And I achieved that dream, that one thing that really motivated me. So now, I have a new one thing. That new one thing is go to the Olympics for aerial skiing. And this one thing is what really drives and motivates me to get up out of the bed in the morning, to go to those water ramps or those ski slopes where it's freezing cold, but I still get up and chase that one dream, that one thing. What is that one thing? That's the question for all of you guys. I'm really concerned with everything that I'm seeing because you kids, parents, other 15-year-olds, we're going to die younger than our parents and our grandparents. Our life expectancy is 5 years less than our parents. 5 years. You know how much you can do in 5 years of your life? I've only lived 15 years, and I've already done so much. And I can even think the last 5 years. I would not want to miss any of that. My mom is a physician, and she constantly sees her patients and sees how they're affected with obesity. A lot of times now, these kids are coming in with diseases she only once saw in adults, such as high blood pressure and diabetes. She tries telling them how they can change, but they don't want to listen. One of the books my mom read is called Change or Die, and it explains why people who have heart attacks go and change their eating habits and their exercising plans, but only for a short amount of time. 9 out of 10 of them go back to their old habits, despite being faced with death. My mom realized that telling the people, you are going to die if you don't change, didn't motivate them. What motivated them is finding that one thing that would really encourage them to get out of bed, to get off the couch. It would be so important that they would want to live. 15-year-olds, what is your one thing? Is it to be able to run track or play volleyball? Is it to be able to go around on the beach in your swimsuit and feel comfortable with yourself? Is your one thing to be able to be a pilot? Is your one thing to be able to be a computer programmer? Parents, what is your one thing? Do you wish to run a 5K? Or just be able to keep up with your kids? Or do you wish to be able to see your grandkids and your great-grandkids grow up? Do you wish to ride that roller coaster, go on that cruise ship, or just go on some vacation you've always dreamed of going on? In order to find that one thing, you have to go deep inside your heart and be able to find that one thing that's going to motivate you no matter what, that you're going to want to live for and want to get up in the morning saying, I'm going to exercise because I want my goal. And that's what you have to do. And as the book Change or Die says, the first thing you have to do is relate. And this means you need to find a role model or a mentor, someone you inspire to be like, and surround yourself with people like them. Maybe go to a running group and join them. Go hang out with friends or family who support you and who have similar interests as you. If you're trying to quit smoking, you're not going to go hang around a bunch of smokers, are you? No. You're going to go hang around people who aren't smoking to be a good influence on you. For me, ever since I was little, I was hanging around adult runners who were running distances way longer than I could have ever imagined. And I started running with them. So ever since I was young, I was running distances. Only Kenyan kids were running. No Americans were crazy enough to start running these distances at my age. And I was hanging around marathon runners who taught me how to eat well. They taught me that all these cereals and sugary things are not going to be good for me, and that I need to eat these lean proteins and fruits and vegetables. So I surrounded with them ever since I was really little. The next thing you have to do is repeat. Repeat those healthy habits, repeat those exercise plans that you have set out for yourself, and continue to follow that dream of that one thing. Let's say you have a car and you put gas in your car and it runs perfectly well. You're not going to go to the gas station and put the worst fuel in that makes your car go and sputter. No, you'd keep continuing to put that good fuel in your body. And that's what I do. I continue to drink enough water, to eat healthy, to exercise, and get enough sleep so that I can chase my dream and chase my one goal. Finally, you need to reframe. Look at your life of how it would be like without that extra weight, without having high blood pressure or diabetes. You need to visualize. What could your life be like? Visualize into the future. What do you want it to be like? Because everyone has a dream of what they want to be like or what they want to do. If you visualize that in your head, you can make a plan of how to get there. For me, I view my life without limits, with no limits. I view everything as possible, not impossible. I don't put off till tomorrow what I'm capable of doing today. My one thing, and having these visuals in my head, is what allows me to chase this one thing, to really focus, to be able to have those plans and go day by day knowing I am getting somewhere closer to that one thing that I want to do. I'm Vinecki, and I could have chose to just go out and worry about my own 15-year-old self. But I chose to make a difference. I chose to go out there and help deal with this health crisis of obesity. And you know what I did? I started going around the world to all these places, encouraging people to get active and to get healthy. I decided that I would be a role model and an inspiration for kids, because there's too many bad role models out in this world. And the kids need someone who they can look up to. Like I have my mentors who are athletes that I look up to, who had an impact in my life. I've become a role model for kids, teenagers, and other 15-year-olds like myself, and even adults. I challenge all of you to find that one thing in life that's going to get you out of bed in the morning, get you off of the couch, and to help you find that reason that you want to live a healthy and active life. You only have one life and one body to live that life in. Live life with no regrets and never give in.